We're living in an age of crisis. For the first time in a generation, there's a war in Europe, which has had a devastating impact in Ukraine, but is also making itself felt elsewhere in Europe. It has caused an energy crisis, which is making people worried about their jobs, their livelihoods, and indeed how to heat their homes come winter. This is coming off the back of a devastating pandemic, which has had extraordinary impacts on people's lives and livelihoods. People have lost friends and relatives, and longer term it's having an extraordinary impact on health systems all across Europe. On top of that, we're still dealing with a climate crisis which threatens the very survival of the planet. But we are not powerless. We have seen how technology through the pandemic can be enormously important in solving crises. We've seen over the course of the COVID crisis that we can act, that governments can act, that businesses can make a difference, and that individuals, entrepreneurs as much as users and consumers and citizens, can make a huge difference.
Because we are not powerless. And the question is, how do we scale these technologies? How do we drive forward this innovation across the public sector? How do we bring innovation to new places to solve new problems in new ways? GovTech is for everybody, and modern technology reaches everybody, no matter who you are or where you're from. And so as we find ourselves in this unique historical moment, we have to all ask ourselves, what can we do differently to make GovTech happen, and happen fast?
What I'd like to see different stakeholders do more and more is come together like we are today in order to better understand the challenges that they're each facing, both in terms of policies, changing societies, as well as the climate.
It's really important that we tap into young startup companies that don't necessarily have loads of experience with the public sector, but have incredible ideas, innovative solutions, and know what they're talking about when it comes to the climate crisis.
To make sure that the GovTech succeed, there is a key secret element that is the confidence between the government and the citizens, but also between government, citizens and the whole civil society. So confidence is key.
I would love to see governments improve the way it buys technology through new tooling, new processes and new commercial mechanisms so they can ease the barriers for GovTech startups to work with public sector bodies all across Europe and deliver the outcomes to citizens and to government bodies that we know are possible.
I think the secret sauce to make governments more digital, innovative, and to really implement GovTech solutions is to enable public servants with digital literacy and the ability to make decisions and to know what innovation is out there and what impact it can have on their work.
What we need is standards, shared infrastructure, and a common way of delivering products and applications.
GovTech is about you. GovTech is not about AI or blockchain, all these new technologies. It's about the future of human-centered public services. And this requires a shift in how we work and think about digital technologies in government. It requires a new approach in which we co-create the next generation public services for you.
The secret sauce of GovTech is to find a better integration of external innovation into internal processes of government. So we have to reconcile whatever happens within government with what is outside there. And by outside, I mean above 2,000 GovTech startups in Europe active, willing and active to make the public administration better, more modern and more digital.
To accelerate innovation, we need a real openness and willingness to engage with innovators and the ecosystem.
What we need to accelerate digitization in the public sector is to work together, collaborate between public and private enterprises, collaborate between knowledge carriers and the people that make policy, collaborate between the financials, the legal people and the technical people to make the world a better place.
The scale of the challenges faced are enormous, but so is the scale of the opportunity. And we all have a role to play. Policymakers, technology teams, startups, investors, GovTech enthusiasts. And those aren't communities that always naturally speak to each other. So we need to create the right forums for solving some of these enormous challenges. Let's get to work.